Hello everyone and welcome back to another edition of Rich T Racing. Welcome back to Accurate Predictions. This is for the Japanese Grand Prix, and once again there is a twist because, as you all know, on the Accurate Predictions roster there is no Alfa Romeo because that's the team I do my career mode with. Or rather, that's the team I did my career mode with, because I now race for Renault, and therefore by the same logic I have to eliminate them from the roster, leaving us with just 4 cars and 5 races left. So that's a bit of a conundrum. What is to be done? Very simple. Classic cars. We're going to be picking a classic car at random that has raced at Suzuka since 1987. So this is the first car that is eligible for this Grand Prix, the 1988 McLaren. I don't have the 1990 McLaren or the 1990 Ferrari because I couldn't be bothered to get that edition, so we go to the 91 McLaren, the 1992 Williams, the 1996 Williams, then the 1998 McLaren, then another Williams from 2003, then the first Ferrari from 2004, then we got the Renault of 2006, not the 2007 Ferrari, or the 2008 McLaren, because these two raced at Fuji, so they will not be eligible for me to race as. We then just move on to the Brawn, my favourite F1 car of all time, and finally the 2010 cars, the Ferrari, the Red Bull, and the McLaren. So let us open up Wheel Decide and see who we shall be racing as. So then, it is the Ferrari 2004 we shall be racing as, arguably one of the greatest Ferraris ever made, and also the fastest car on this game. Let's get into it.
Welcome to the only figure of 8 track on the F1 calendar. We're here at Suzuka for qualifying today ahead of the Japanese Grand Prix.
Okay, so here we are sat in the garage, and as per normal we're going to go to the car setup, and normally what I say is that I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing, but actually I sort of know what I'm doing. This time I have genuinely no idea what I'm doing. I've never really done a setup for a classic car. I go to load my career mode setup, but yeah, I'm just going to abandon that very early on. Just go to the standard setup, change the aero, I'll move the transmission forward a bit, and yeah, that is basically it. Oh, we've got weight distribution on this, that's interesting. Okay, we're changing the brake bias a little bit, and we're just leaving it all alone. Putting that a bit forward as well. Interesting. I have no idea what I'm doing, but anyway, let's get into the first lap of qualifying. We're going to come through out of the chicane onto the what is quite a short pit straight, and we are now getting no DRS open actually, because obviously this is a 2004 car. DRS does not exist. Now coming into the first corner, very tricky braking zone, particularly in a older F1 car. You can't quite take as much speed as you can in the modern day equipment, but it looks like we've got through there relatively unscathed, heading now through the S as we run a little bit over the grass there into the I'm going to say the second S, as we now come out of the S's up to the Dunlop curve. This is a very difficult corner, and we oh so nearly completely balls it up as we're now heading through set of first sector time. And is it a decent first sector time? I can't quite see, but I think it is heading through the Degners, and we've absolutely nosed that one up massively so. And this lap is effectively over, but something that is worth bearing in mind is that this car has got phenomenal top speed on this game. So even though we've made that mistake, I still think we can make up for it later on in the lap, particularly in a place such as this, as we're now heading down towards the spoon curve, brake at the 50-metre board, down into third gear, possibly a little bit too low, as we're now already down into third. It's a really scrappy lap this, as we're now coming out of spoon, heading up the main back straight up to 130R. Make sure, as who's that just set the fastest lap? Martin Giles, our classic Martin, heading through 130R. Everyone talks massively about this corner. It's not very difficult. You just turn the wheel to the right. Coming into the chicane now, missing those 2 bollards, which I have a tendency to hit, and now we are on our way to complete this lap. What I'm going to do here, I know I've got almost enough fuel to get a second lap done, so that is what we're going to try and do. So as we head through sector 1, you can see there we are already setting a purple sector time as we just come up to some traffic, but we are going miles faster through the sector 2. But as we come towards the end of the lap, you can see we've run out of fuel. We've run out of fuel, but we're still going to go faster than what we did, and we actually managed to go P1. So we run out of fuel for the final little bit of track and still go P1. I think Codemasters need to sort out their classic cars a little bit, don't you agree? So onto the third lap, into the same part of track we just missed, kill those 2 bollards just there. Now we're coming to the bit where I'll run out of fuel, go faster, and set a 1 minute 30.420. Yeah. So anyway, now we are on to the final lap. This should give us an opportunity to go even faster before we get off to a slightly dodgy start, but stuck behind the Renault, but we get in front of him and actually get a nice tow into the first corner, but we've run wide, but that hasn't affected us coming into sector 1 as we're still setting purple tyres, but this has a massive effect on the lap as we get stuck behind the 2010 McLaren, and that looks to be a 1988 McLaren, I think it was maybe, and that has compromised us massively. You can see on the right hand side that we are losing time through sector 2. We're now only going green, we're only setting personal best, not overall best, coming now into the chicane as that's Julian Quesada sets the fastest lap time, and we think we haven't quite got a good run through the chicane and the lap time is coming down. It might even be slower, but we just about set a faster lap time and ultimately we qualify in P3, which is, I have to be honest, I'm quite disappointed with that, particularly as I built this car up as one of the fastest cars on this game, and we're actually, both Ferraris are slower than a Brawn GP. That is surprising. You wouldn't have thought that a 2009 Brawn would be faster than the 2004 Ferrari, but there we go. And actually that feeds nicely in a little plug into a video we recently did to prove what is the fastest car of all time in Formula 1 up the Goodwood hill climb, and that was also there we saw the Brawn GP faster than the Ferrari F2004. But that is it for qualifying. Do be sure to check out the race video that will be coming out very shortly, and all that remains for me to say now is ta-ta and farewell.